Punching Up, a Nintendo podcast, is brought to you by you. If you want to learn how to support our show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 43 of Punching Up, Last Stand Media's bi-weekly Nintendo podcast. I'm your host as always, Brad Ellis, and joining me this week I have Micah, my lovely co-host. How are you, Micah?
I'm doing very well today, Brad. The scent of the day, because I remembered, the scent of the day for the candle is Hot Cocoa and Cream by Bath & Body Works.
Wow.
It's a really good candle.
Yeah, it sounds good. Just making me hungry though, I think, or thirsty maybe? I don't know.
It's spot on too. Colin's mom bought me this candle and it is dead on for hot cocoa. It's delightful.
That is delightful. I like that a lot, Micah. Getting in the spirit of things, it seems like, too. Love it. And of course, also our other co-host, the lovely Gene Park as well. Gene, how are you?
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Doing pretty good. Last night I had a nice meal at a very fancy Mexican restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
With a bunch of mushroom-related foods on my tostada. So, but it was extremely tasty, and it was nice to get out of the house and have a nice meal for the holidays. So,
So it was Mexican.
And this weekend I'm heading over to New York just to have a New York Christmas weekend. You know,
nice,
excellent,
cool. That's sweet.
Like Home Alone, right?
Yeah. How far is New York from you?
A 3-hour train ride.
Oh, okay. That's pretty chill. Nice. That's cool.
Pretty chill.
All right, guys. So we got a write in here from Justin at 24-hour. Hey, Goon Squad. It's me, author of the official Goon list. Who do you think is the biggest gooner in the Nintendo realm? Keep in mind, Donkey Kong has a giant sock in his treehouse that he no doubt uses for gooning. Okay. Micah, this is your realm of specialty. Biggest gooner.
I guess. I mean, my gut instinct is Luigi. Luigi for sure.
That's Waluigi.
Waluigi, I feel like, is actually getting some tail, you know? I feel like Waluigi's actually getting some.
No way.
Gooning doesn't mean that you're not getting tail. Gooning doesn't mean that you're an incel.
I feel like they're tangentially related.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Luigi he's the goon master. That's my take. You know?
Okay.
Luigi has Daisy though. He's already dating somebody. So.
Daisy's not. No. All right. That's just for appearances. Daisy's probably with what's the blonde woman from the Galaxy game? Rosalina. Yeah, they're together. They're together.
Okay. The head
Luigi's just a front so her parents don't get upset. Take away her trust fund.
Damn. Man, I can't handle this Luigi slander right now.
Mm-hmm. I like Luigi. Way. There's
sure you do.
Wrong.
You don't want him to be happy? He just has no one in his life. Like the unwanted sidekick. Luigi's awesome, all right?
No, he's fine. It's the year of Luigi.
I'm saying Wario and Waluigi are tied for gooning. Those boys goon hard. Have you seen them? Those guys are freaks. Those mustaches, those noses. Those boys can't stop. They got a problem.
Wario's probably ripped it off by now, right? There's nothing left.
You're right. Goon. Probably use it in a mini game in his next fucking WarioWare game or something.
Oh my god.
Gene, what do you think? Who's the biggest gooner?
Yeah, I feel like Wario and Waluigi like define what gooning is about. You know?
Yeah, the poster boys.
Yeah,
truly iconic gooners. All right, this is from Dragon Paul 22. Hey, Punchers, this writing is mostly for Micah. Micah, I started 7th Dragon Code VFD, and I have to ask, when does the story pick up? I don't mind it so far, but the cast doesn't stand out much besides the rabbit guy. He is hilarious and savage. Also, got any tips and advice for the combat? Any particular class combos I should use in my party, etc.? I think I got a hang of it since I unlocked the buddy system, which I must say, this combat system is well designed. Also, I have to ask, did you actually listen to the game's OST when you played it? I have to know. Anyways, I'll shut up and listen now. Hope you Punchers have a happy holiday and enjoy the time off.
Yes, well, minor correction. It's 7th Dragon 3. Code
Oh,
VFD.
okay.
But that's just, anyways. Yeah. In terms of the classes, I think there are 8 different classes to choose from. The combinations aren't as big of a thing. It's more so just choosing your play style. So you have a large variety of, some characters have long range attacks. Some of them can set traps for your enemies. So when they try to attack you, they instead, get harmed. You have, of course, your healers. You have some who are more balanced and on attack and defense. It's really just choosing what you're comfortable with and what you find fun. And you can change your classes at any time. This game is similar to like Dragon Quest 3, for example, where you're hiring your party members. And so in terms of the cast of characters saying like they're not super interesting, they're not, in the sense that like you, the main character, and like your kind of friends are interesting, but your party members are people that you're hiring. It's just not really the focus of the game. It's not like a Tales game where you're going to get super close to your party.
Right.
You'll meet some really cool characters along the way, and that is like where the story really picks up. But your actual party members are people you hire, and you can change those classes later on. I think it docks you like 10 levels to do so, but when you're in higher level areas, you'll just bump them right back up, pretty quickly. But that's really the thing. I don't remember it being so much about combinations of classes, and more so just what's your play style. Are you very aggressive? Are you very defensive? Do you want to heal every turn? Do you want to be like sneaky and set traps and all that? But I do think the story does ramp up as you get a little further in. I am not the person who's going to say, oh, just play 15 hours and then it gets good. I promise it's not that, because I don't play games like that. I get bored. So if it's not, if it's not getting action packed within like the first 3 hours, I'm out of here. So I promise the story does get much more interesting, and it has a lot of like twists and turns along the way. I remember playing this game and just being shocked at some of the developments. So it might take a little bit of time to get into, but I promise it's not going to be, 10 hours until the story gets good. It's not one of those type of games.
Awesome. All right. Well, there you go. Hang in there, Dragon Paul.
Oh, and the soundtrack. I mean, I assume I listened to it. I think I played this though in like, I think I played this in like 2017.
Okay.
Like, I can't remember the soundtrack specifically, but I'm pretty sure I did listen to most of it. But God, man, we're getting to be where this is almost 10 years ago.
I know. Well, the Game Grumps were around then, so maybe.
Oh, they absolutely were.
Yeah. So maybe. I don't know. We'll choose to believe Micah listened to a lot of it. There we go. Everybody wins. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's the headcanon.
Yes. All right. We had the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley's birthday bash, all that good stuff. We saw some game reveals there. Micah, Yumi talked about this a little bit on Summon Sign already. Some stuff we were excited about. But Gene, quickly, man. Well, not quickly, but what were you into? Any of the reveals you saw? I have some things written down, but I just want to know the Gene Park things, even outside of Nintendo.
The most exciting one to me was Onimusha. Or as Colin keeps calling it, Onimusha. For some reason, I don't know.
Oni, yeah, it's Oni.
It's Onimusha. Onimusha what was huge. I didn't expect that. Okami, obviously, being the other one. I was really happy to see Okami get such a huge, splashy trailer that it included like the whole orchestra and the taiko drumming. That was super cool. Like the return of Hideki Kamiya, not necessarily to Capcom, as he tweeted yesterday. He's not returning to Capcom. He has his own studio, but he's working with Capcom.
Yeah,
on that. But I mean, that's just huge. That just makes me That just makes me believe anything's possible.
I know. I'm with you too, Gene. Never thought they'd come back.
Fuck Dustin. The Fumito Ueda game is going to be amazing too.
Hell yeah.
Fuck Sacred Symbols in general. Because also Colin wasn't into it too.
That show sucks.
The show is terrible. Listen to that show. You have better taste here. But yeah, I mean, I feel like those three are were the biggest surprises for me.
Yeah, well said, Gene. Something that you mean we're also very pleased with, Gene.
And a Virtual Fighter too, as well.
Yes, yeah, you're a big Virtual Fighter guy, so that was a nice pickup for you. Ninja Gaiden Rebound from Dot Emu.
Ragebound,
Not Rebound. Ragebound. That Rebound would be worse. From Dot
Ryu
Emu.
Hayabusa, just brokenhearted,
In the kitchen, the blasphemous devs.
there's sleeping, crying in the shower,
Yeah.
looking for that rebound.
Let's see. Coming to Switch and multiple other platforms in summer of 2025. Brand new 2D side scroller starring the new hero known as Kenji Mozu. So if you watch the trailer and you know Ninja Gaiden, there are cutscenes in there from the original Ninja Gaiden. That's when I saw those cutscenes. I was like, oh, that's Ninja Gaiden 1 right there. So yeah, we'll be going with a different character. I assume this is why Ryu is in America doing his whole thing there. So it's cool. I'm really happy this series is back. It's been like 30 years since we've had a side-scroller one. It's been a long time or something like that. So I'm really happy to Ninja Gaiden back. Hopefully we get a new 3D one in the future as well. But I think the Game Kitchen is a wonderful dev to do this project because Blasphemous 1 and 2 are excellent video games. So I'm very pleased with this. Gene, you're also hyped about this, right?
Yep, for sure. Anything? It's just 2D. It's 2D Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Micah, your husband is excited about this.
Very.
Do you want to play this?
No, way too difficult. I mean, we watch like speed runs. What's that speed run channel he likes to watch? I can't remember. But we watch like speed runs.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yes, the Salt guy. Yes, and I love watching those, and not that that's the level I like to play at, but it's fucking crazy, and I just see how difficult these games are. I enjoy watching other people play. I will be excited to watch Colin play it for sure.
Yeah.
I know. I said Colin has bad taste, but he has good taste for this one. So
broken clocks right twice a day and all that.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. We also have the Okami sequel that Gene talked about being co-developed between studios like studios and will include various staff members of the original Okami, M2 Inc., Machine Head Works Inc., and Clovers Inc., which Hideki Kamiya is a member of. So that's interesting because it was Clover before, back when they did Okami 1. Now it's Clovers, kind of reborn. So I am a fan of that. And let's see here. Kamiya did put out a statement regarding the game. He said, "To all of you, until next time," unquotations. How long has it been since the story was concluded with that? I didn't think this day would really come, where I'd return to Okami and continue the story with my own hands. Even at this moment, my body is filled with both cautious surprise that it is not a dream and joy that cannot be described in words. Everyone who has worked so hard to make this project a reality, the friends who believed in me and gathered at Clovers Inc., and most importantly, the voices of so many of you who have continued to support Okami even after such a long time. All this has come together to create this miracle for which I am deeply grateful. Like a strong rising sun, this project is finally in motion, but it's still a small bud that is blossoming. We are ready to fill this new Okami with many colorful flowers and to do our best to fulfill the promise of next time in the best way. Everyone, please wait with anticipation. End quote. Very nice statement from him. Very sweet. Not something I expect from him, but he is very thrilled, I suppose, to do this, especially after his fallout with Platinum Games and all that going on over there. And I really like Okami, the first one. I was a big fan of it on PS2, and I know Gene likes it as well. Micah, are you interested in trying Okami now?
Not too much. I remember trying the original and not really jiving with it. So not sure if it's a game for me, but I do just love this statement that he made. I think it's easy to get a little jaded sometimes when you see like statements from developers and they sometimes seem like insincere, or seeing like the trends in the gaming space of like, well, when everything looks like live service and it feels like it's just a cash grab. To see someone be so passionate, so excited to be returning to a project it's genuinely heartwarming to see how much he cares about it and just how thrilled he is to be back working on it.
Yeah, totally. I wonder if this will even be on Switch 2 or whatever. I'm not sure. Because, I mean, by the time this game comes out, we're going to be in PS6 and Xbox 720 territory, whatever the hell they're going to call that thing. So I don't know. Maybe Switch 2 can handle it, but Okami is on everything, but originally on PlayStation. But if they can get it on Switch 2, hell yeah, that'd be awesome. Be great. But yeah, if you guys, you listeners out there, are curious about Okami, you can get it on Switch. You can play it there. You can play it on, I think, pretty much anything now. And it's definitely worth playing through it. It's kind of like Zelda a little bit, but you're a cool little wolf, Amaterasu. So check it out. Really cool game. Dig it. Also, we had Slay the Spire 2. Now, I haven't played Slay the Spire, but I know people love this game. So to finally get a sequel to Slay the Spire 2, or coming out in early access also next year, that's a big deal for a lot of people. I'm just curious, do you guys, or are you guys familiar with this series at all? Or intend to play it? No, none of us.
I watched Colin actually play Slay the Spire, and it looked really cool. This was a game that I did not know anything about until he started playing it, and I was like, this could be really addicting because you're adding in like the card elements, the animations were really cool. I am a bit interested in this one because watching him play the original, I was like, all right, well, I just watched to play that whole game. So sometimes when that happens, I say, oh, I want to go play it now. And other times it's like, that was enough. This one I might get in like on the ground floor because it did look really addicting when he was playing it.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about this game. So definitely need to try the sequel at least because I know people love the first one. Micah, Dave the Diver in the Jungle. What'd you think of this? I know you played some of Dave the Diver.
No, I missed this. When was this announcement?
In the Game Awards.
Like which section though? Was in the pre-show?
In the pre-show.
I can't remember. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, click that
the pre-show. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so yeah.
Oh yeah. Colin thought it just started at 8:00. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we didn't. Here, let's be real, right? I 100% thought the pre-show was going to be, just the garbage awards that nobody wants to see, and then like advertisements. So I didn't see any of the pre-show, and yeah, I did not see this. Oh, hell yeah, dog. Well, I'll be day one for that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I also thought that the pre-show was going to be garbage, and then I just started streaming at 7:30, and I was like, oh wait, and the show starts with Ninja Gaiden and Ragebound. Yeah. And I was like, oh wait, like it's starting off with bangers already. Okay.
Yeah. That's the thing, dude. Yeah. Like I don't know, I didn't expect that. I mean, it is like the anniversary show, but I thought this was going to be like when you go to the movies and it's commercials at the beginning, not trailers yet, like right? I was like, yeah. But Dave the Diver, if you haven't played it, it's a really fun gameplay loop. You go into the ocean, you gather your fish, gather your resources, and then at night you run your sushi restaurant. And so on top of it already just being fun, the characters in the game are really funny. Like the dialogue is hilarious. And it just has a cute little story in the background as well. Some of it gets a little fetch questy at times, but I just genuinely enjoyed playing it. That was one of those games. It had the like Harvest Moon level of I wake up and I just want to start playing it. Because that's how I always get with like Harvest Moon, Animal Crossing. Is like it's the first thing I think of when I wake up. It's like I got to start playing this game, and that loop never got boring. So I highly recommend Dave the Diver if you haven't checked it out yet.
Hell yeah, awesome. Gene, any interest in this?
No, not really. I try to get in Dave the Diver. It's a cool game, but it wasn't something I was totally into. So
yeah. For me, I had a ton of nostalgia for games like Diner Dash that my sister and I used to play together on computer, just like those free website games. And there were a million of those. I think PopCap games had one where like you were a bakery and you're decorating cakes. Like I always loved those types of games where it's like the customer comes in and you make the food, bring it to them, do the dishes, overcooked, a little less chaotic than overcooked, but I loved those type of games. So Dave the Diver, adding on the layer of now you actually go and like you go fishing and there's a little bit of danger involved. There's sharks in the water. And then you get to run your restaurant at night. It was a really great combo for me as someone who's very nostalgic for those Diner Dash, Hello Kitty Cafe type games.
Yeah. Nice. Awesome.
That's a good perspective for that game for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Gene, I'm curious what you think about this one. Thick as Thieves. This is the new game from Warren Spector. That Dishonored looking multiplayer game. Bunch of thieves running on rooftops. What'd you think of it?
It's interesting because it feels like people are really trying to solve the multiplayer immersive sim question. The challenge of how to take Deus Ex, or Dishonored for a lot of people, and just turn that into multiplayer. And Redfall was one example of that. And it was a failed experiment, right?
Yep.
And so Thick of Thieves, it feels like feels like it's another Harvey Smith had his own experiment with Redfall, and it just didn't work. So we'll
Right.
see. Warren Spector, legendary game developer, but he hasn't had, his batting average isn't perfect. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
that's true.
You know,
That is true.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about it. I'm curious, I guess, because it is interesting. Immersive sim multiplayer game.
I wonder, because I'm not a big fan of Dishonored. I wonder if the reason why so many people are so attached to Dishonored is because it's really their first exposure to like the immersive sim
Maybe
genre.
it was definitely one of the biggest ones in that era.
Yeah, but like
There wasn't like
the
a lot of
ability
high
to
profile ones.
climb up over rooftops and vents and everything like that, like all that stuff is amazing. But that was all stuff that I did in Thief and
Yeah.
Deus Ex. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to Thick as
Well,
Thieves.
I think
I wonder if it's
with
a
this-
Thief, if it's in Thief universe.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think with Dishonored, a lot of it was the powers you got. It was
Yeah.
like a nice spin on the immersive sim aspect and all
For
that
sure.
kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And I don't know, like Gene, the multiple outcomes of like being able to take down targets. I guess that is an immersive sim
that
thing,
was
but it
Deus
kind of
Ex
added
too.
like
Yeah.
it added like a Paragon Renegade route almost for the game that was very popular at the time. So I wonder if that resonated with a lot of people.
I'm sure.
But yeah. All right, then we had Shadow Labyrinth. This is a Metroidvania, I guess, with Pac-Man. This like everyone said this is like the secret level, Gene, the episode.
There's
I
a
haven't
secret
seen
level
it.
episode. Yeah.
So is it exactly like this?
It's well, it's the secret level episode isn't exactly a Metroidvania. It basically, well, I don't know if I want to spoil
Yeah,
that
sure.
part for secret level, but it does involve a maze, with or a labyrinth, a shadow labyrinth, as
Yeah.
you might even say. I bet people get mad at me for spoiling the name of the name of the game. You just spoiled the name. Don't tell me the name of the game. Oh my god, spoilers! Shadow labyrinth. You're telling me there's a labyrinth in the game? No, but there's
Pac-Man game.
yeah. It's based on a Pac-Man game.
Cool.
Very very bizarre.
Yeah, really interesting. People are kind of like, why is Pac-Man doing this? And I'm kind of okay with it. Pac-Man's done like everything, I feel like.
Pac-Man's done everything. What
How many Pac-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just let
I
Pac-Man
don't know
do
what you
something
expect from
different.
Pac-Man. It's weird,
Yeah.
Who's out there waiting for a Pac-Man revival?
Yeah. Like you don't have enough normal Pac-Man games to play. Relax.
Yeah, Pac-Man is very, very, very well preserved. Don't worry about it, guys.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, it's just that you haven't even like bothered looking for the Pac-Man games. Like Pac World, for fuck's sake, they re-released that.
Yeah.
That was awesome. The platformer game, Pac-Man.
Yeah. Mike, I know you have no interest in this because it's a Metroidvania. But what do you think about the concept, I guess, of just Pac-Man doing something completely different like this?
I like the idea. I mean, it is fun to be like, sure, put Pac-Man in this completely other genre from what we're used to seeing. I like the concept for sure. It'd be fun to see kind of more mashups like that. Let's put Mario in his own little. Then you know what? Yeah, the next Mario and Luigi game is a Metroidvania. How about that?
Sure, I'd be
cool.
down.
Oh yeah,
that'd be sick. I'm curious about this one, Gene. Steel Paws, the next game from Shenmue creator Yu Suzuki, and in partnership with Netflix Games, Steel Paws is set for a 2025 launch on mobile devices only.
I have no idea what that is, actually.
Just some Yu Suzuki robot cat game. I don't know. Strange.
Sure. I mean, we're talking about batting averages. Yu Suzuki has one of the worst ones. So,
Yeah, he had a high batting average in the older days, it seems
yeah,
like.
Yeah. You want to talk about legendary game creators with low batting averages. Yu Suzuki is definitely one of them, too. So
yeah.
It's not like the Japanese don't have them either.
I know, yeah. Shout out Yu Suzuki.
Hideki Kamiya probably has one of the better ones. If
Sure.
you want to talk about Okami, So,
yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not the hits, but his games are always pretty sick. So.
Oh yeah, they always are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got Kaora here. This is from the developer of Core Keeper, which is a crafting survival game that I actually played a little bit earlier this year, and it's pretty cool. But this one is Core Keeper is like more top down. This one is side scrolling. It looks very much like Terraria, if you're familiar with that game, listeners. So like Terraria to a beat almost. So these games continue to thrive. I'm sure this game is going to sell millions of copies because these games always do. I could see it easily coming to Switch or Switch 2, whatever we got in the future. So keep an eye out if you're interested in that. Micah, you nodded your head earlier on. Are you interested in this at all?
No, I mean, I hated Terraria, but
Okay.
I was familiar with the reference. Because, yeah, as soon as I saw it, it's like, yeah, that is what it looks like. I did not enjoy that game, but I'm familiar with the reference.
Then we had Rematch, which is a soccer game from Slow Clap, which is the developers of Sifu, I believe. They're putting out like a weird soccer game. The perspective is not like a top-down kind of thing you expect from soccer games. It's much more like third person. Could be interesting, could be really fun and arcadey, but I don't know. Do you guys have any interest in this?
I hate soccer, like
Okay,
the most
fair
out
enough.
of any sport in the world.
Yeah.
Interested in it because it's it's the developer, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be fun. Might be something to check out.
Cool. Let's see here. Witcher 4, obviously, many years away still. Maybe on Switch 2, maybe. I'm not expecting it, though. Maybe a port down the line like they did with Witcher 3, where it's like a miracle port almost that it works, but
yeah,
I don't think so.
Witcher 4 is not happening within the next 5 years, I think.
Yeah, that game's far away.
Yeah,
Real far away.
We're going to be old when we play that game.
I'm going to be 40 by the time that game comes out.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be 40. Series going to look even uglier by then, We're all going to look uglier by then. That's for sure.
Yeah. But we're all stoked for it. We're all excited about it. Witcher 3 especially, great game. I liked all 3 Witchers actually, but they're all good.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, I know you're stoked as well. Very stoked.
Yeah, I liked Witcher 2 a lot. I have not played the first one. I'm waiting for them with their promised, port of it, right? Because it's just one of those things that, it's something that there's no way you want to go back and play that now. So I really enjoyed Witcher 2. I played that, on my Xbox within the last 2 years or so. But 3 is an all-time like top 5 game for me. So I'm very excited.
Hell yeah. Of course, we got Elden Ring, Night Rain. I'm stoked. Gene, you're pretty excited about it too. We're very curious how From Software is going to tackle this.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the story's going to be like for that one.
Yeah, how they're going to connect the dots, or if they'll just... it might just be... I think they might have said it's just alternate timeline or something like that, so they can just do whatever.
Like parallel to the story.
Yeah, something like that.
It still could mean something,
Yeah, it could. You never know with From Software.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I mean, From Software were the biggest liars.
That's true
in the industry. So,
and it's like I don't get upset when they lie to me. It's like they tell me one thing, then they're just like, "Oh, they lied to me. Oh, that's okay. You guys can lie to me all day. It's fine."
Would you like more money?
Yeah, I'll give you all the money. But yeah, I'll be playing this day one. Gene will be playing day one, I'm sure. Micah, I know you're not going to be playing day one. But it has co-op focused game.
Yeah, I mean that sounds ideal for such a difficult game, but then it just sounds like I'd be, myself and the person I'm playing with would both just be upset. So
maybe, yeah, stoked. Hopefully, it gets a Switch 2 port or something. All right, we had Project Robot, the Fumito Ueda game. That game feels like it's 5 years away as well. Who knows what the hell this is going to be? It'll probably be on everything. It can be because it's Epic publishing it now. Or maybe they own the studio. I'm not really sure. But Epic is involved, so we shall see about that. Stoked, of course. Split Fiction, the new game from Hazelight Studios. Joseph Ferris, Way Out.
Looks really, really cool.
Takes Two. Yeah, it looks really cool. Micah, what did you think of this game?
I'm a little bit interested. So I didn't play It Takes Two. I did play the first game where you're those two dudes breaking out of jail. I loved that game. I did not play It Takes Two. I had no one to play it with. So while I think this looks pretty cool, that's the thing. It's like Colin does not want to play these games with me. So I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, more co-op, but he's not interested. So
wait, how can he even play Is he even going to play these games then at all?
No,
because they're co-op like only games, pretty much.
I don't think he never played It Takes Two. No, he doesn't. He's not interested.
Okay, dude.
I'm a couch co-op stan. Okay, like I love co-op games. But he's just not into it.
Must
What
be
a
rough to
shame.
have a gamer husband that doesn't want to game with you.
Dude, I mean, like, seriously,
Here
because
we
I
go.
remember, like, when my ex and I were together, and the goal was always we're going to buy a house, we're going to have 2 TVs, 2 Xboxes in the living room so we can play Call of Duty in the same party without doing split screen, play, Gears Online
Mhm.
without doing split screen. Like, we had goals. Now, marriage was not one of his goals, so I left. But then, now I end up married, and Colin doesn't like co-op. It's like, you know. Pros and cons.
There you go.
Pros and cons, man. Damn. All right. Borderlands 4. I don't care about this at all, but what do you guys think? New Borderlands is a big deal. You're excited?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
like,
okay, nice.
I love Borderlands. I know people dunk on the story and all that. It's not what I'm really here for, though. Like,
Right,
I don't.
sure.
It just is what it is. The shooting is amazing. I love the variety of guns. My favorite thing about Borderlands is that you do develop your own like brand loyalty, basically. Like you end up with your favorite manufacturers of weapons. Because each gun you pick up, it'll say, is it a Jacobs or a Hyperion, whatever. And you end up with your favorites. And I just love that feeling of I was always excited to find the Jacobs weapons, especially. Like my favorite claptrap in my collection is my Jacobs claptrap. And so I just adore these games. Yeah, they're a little hokey, but I don't know, man. Put on a podcast or something. Just enjoy.
You know what, Micah?
Games. Mm-hmm.
I would listen to a podcast if I played Borderlands.
Really,
yeah, that's a podcast game.
Every Borderlands I played, except for 3, I always played co-op with a friend. So we're chatting and talking anyways. It's just like, no, I'm not here for the story. You're here because the gameplay's awesome. The numbers are flying out when you're shooting people. I love that. Yeah. So this is an example of 100% gameplay focused. The story in the first one wasn't horrible. Like the first one actually has a really creepy vibe. You play that first game and it's very strange, and it's still my favorite one. They get a little more silly as time goes on, but I'm just stoked because I do love the gameplay.
Hell yeah. Gene, are you gonna check this out, do you think? Borderlands 4.
One of the writers did say on Twitter that Borderlands 3 had too much toilet humor, so they're gonna scale that back a bit. And I'm like, okay,
we'll see.
Yeah, if the writing is a little bit more tolerable, then I might check it out. I mean, some of the monster designs are kind of cool. So,
sure.
So I don't like Borderlands, but so what I saw looked interesting, and Borderlands can be a good concept. So,
yeah, cool. All right, like we said earlier, new Virtua Fighter coming, could easily land on Switch 2 in the future. We'll see, but Gina's stoked about that.
Yep,
Micah, Project Century. Your beloved RGG Studios coming back. A third-person action game set in Japan in 1915.
Yes.
I just think this is related to Yakuza because it's RGG. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. Could easily not be. Could be a new spin-off thing, but I think it looks cool. You think it looks cool. We're stoked. Can't wait to play it.
No, this setting, Japan 1915, is just like, because as soon as the trailer started and it's like, all right, this looks like their work, but, we're in an old-timey setting, relative to the other games. And it's just, everything about this little trailer had me stoked. So anything they make, I'm interested in checking out anyways, but a shift in the timeline, that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's theories that it's about the Omi Alliance, the start
of
the Omi Alliance, because the Omi Alliance has been around for about a century. So 1950 is right then. So interesting. Yeah, if it's not about the Tojo clan, but the rival clan, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
We'll see. We don't know.
Yeah. All right, Turok Origins. The trailer was whatever, but knowing that Saber Interactive is working on this, that does boost my confidence. So third person now also, not first person like many Turok games. So we shall see. We'll keep an eye on it. Hope it's good because we like Turok here. Splitgate. This is a Splitgate 2. Sorry, I played some of Splitgate 1 and it's like Halo mixed with Portal. It feels like kind of Halo running around, but you have Portal guns as well. Micah, do you have any interest in this? I know you like some multiplayer, especially the Xbox side of things.
This particularly, no, and it's because though I'm not a Halo fan at all. So when things are reminiscent of Halo, even like Destiny Online, it's like, not for me. But concept wise, very cool. But no, I've never jived with the Halo style of multiplayer, so I don't think I'd actually enjoy playing this.
Sure. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. Onimusha with Sword coming as well. We're very excited about that. Maybe Switch 2 port down the line. Who knows? This game is scheduled for 2026, so it is possible, but I'm not going to count on it. Because I won't be playing it on stinky Switch 2 by that time. Switch 2 will be stinky already a year in about. So get ready, everybody. Next, we had Stage Fright. This is from the Overcooked developers, Ghost Town Games. Stage Fright is a co-op adventure with 2 human characters avoiding hostile aliens in a split world where actions from one can help the other simultaneously. Really strange presentation, I guess. They had like little holograms on the stage that came out, these little goofy kids. I don't know if it landed with much of the audience it sounded like, but Micah, what do you think about this game?
I'm a little disappointed because I love Overcooked and Overcooked 2. So part of me was just like, please just keep making those. I respect them wanting to make something different. It's a neat little idea, but I'm not too stoked on it, honestly. Like, it didn't really capture my interest the same way Overcooked did. And I mean, both of those games are phenomenal to play, really great like games to bring out at a party. Like you and your friends will just be like screaming at each other about soup, and it's fantastic. So I'm disappointed. It's the same disappointment I felt when it was like CD Projekt is making Cyberpunk and not more Witcher, and I'm like, boo, hiss. I'm not saying so. This is not to say the game will actually be bad. I'm just disappointed because I wanted them to make more of the same.
Yeah. Fair enough. Gene, any interest in this? Stage Fright?
Nope, not at all.
All right, hard out. Fair enough. What about this, though, Gene? Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. A new Sonic Racing game. The trailer, kind of just a teaser trailer, had Shadow in it now with his car. And I know some people really like these Sega racing games. I haven't really played them, so
they're great.
I have no context. But yeah, are you excited for this?
They're probably the best racers outside of Mario Kart. You know?
Wow. Yeah, very nice.
Really fun, really fun arcadey racers. I just thought the trailer was so funny because it was like 5 seconds long, and it just shows Shadow like driving off, and like that's it. We got nothing. It was just a reminder that like companies are just paying Jeff Keighley to run like hundreds of $1,000s just to run like 5 second ads.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude.
Oh,
yeah, it's
dude.
crazy.
It's like that. There's that tweet about living in New York, and it's like the rent $5,000 a second, and that's how much it costs to have your trailer played at the Game Awards.
That's what it feels like, man. I was like, man,
yeah,
the entire industry just making Jeff Keighley rich. That's what it is.
Yeah, the year of Shadow continues, I guess, into next year. Mm-hmm. It's always Shadow's year, it seems like. I don't know if this is going to be on future Nintendo things, but Mafia: The Old Country, I think looks pretty cool. I like Mafia 1. I haven't really played the other two, but I know some people are kind of sour on 3. But the idea of this being a prequel set in the old country is very fascinating to me. Are we interested in this at all, Micah?
Yeah, I definitely want to play this. I did not play 1 and 2 myself. I watched my ex like play through both games, and it was kind of like the backseat gamer, and they were really cool. 3, I did try to play, and just like legitimately, the game just made me uncomfortable because of like the racism element.
Oh yeah.
And I just genuinely was like, I don't like this. You know, it was too weird to just be playing through it. It was a neat concept. I appreciated the angle they went with, but I mean, the game was way too long, like way too long, too much side stuff to do. It was not a bad game, but it genuinely made me uncomfortable, and maybe that was part of the art of the game. But I was just like, I don't like doing this. I don't like being in this world where people don't like me. So I respect what they did, but it wasn't for me. This I'll be very excited for, because if people are racist towards Italians, well, I'm not going to take it personally because I'm not Italian. It won't feel the same.
Do you think Colin will take it personally?
Oh, he's going to love it. He's gonna love it. He loves The Sopranos and all that. Oh my god, he's gonna fucking love it.
Gene, are you interested in this?
Not really.
Not really? Okay, interesting. Huh.
You don't want to go eat the pizza and the pasta and the
Pizza.
gabagool. And the bibbidi-bobbidi-boo.
Anti-Italian sentiment makes me uncomfortable too.
This is a pro-Italian podcast.
That's true.
I thawed out last night. I thawed out some hot Italian sausage to make for dinner tonight. All right.
Whoa.
It's the pro-Italian podcast. I
Spicy
don't want
Italian
anyone
sausage.
misconstruing my
Always a winner.
boppity
Yeah.
bippities.
Boppity boopities.
Don't take that the wrong way. I'm celebrating their heritage. I just
you're
simply
appropriating
can't
it, Micah. Appropriating the hot sausage culture. All right.
Oh my god, they're like, that's our word.
Yeah,
Boppity
that's our word.
Micah's like, I can't be racist. I'm married to one.
Yeah.
This is the best part though of being biracial, because you'll make a joke and someone was like, that's like anti-white, and it's like, I'm half white.
Yeah, gotcha,
What
bitch.
now?
Yeah.
You get away with so much. You get away with so much when you're biracial. It's excellent.
Yeah, that's true. All right, guys, it wouldn't be a Punching Up podcast without more Switch 2 leaks, rumors, all that stuff. Everyone is freaking out constantly for Switch 2, including us, because we need that Switch 2. A Canadian company called D-Brand posted images of a alleged Switch 2 case. They're just advertising on their website and on Twitter and X and all that stuff, and they're just calling it Switch 2. Now, I don't know if that's the official name or if they're just calling it that right now, but pretty damn cheeky of this company to be teasing stuff like this already. But we get a glimpse of it. It looks very much like a Switch, of course, but the Joy-Cons maybe a little different. There's a couple of changes on the back, like a little extra button. I don't know if that's maybe something for the cases as well that are going on here, because it looks like the case has some extra back buttons as well. But the front looks a little different. I think there's a home button now on there on the left side, if I recall. But what do you guys think of these leaks? I know it's not a lot to go on, but we are begging for scraps here for anything from Switch 2. Micah.
So I am just happy that, like, if this is all legit, I'm thrilled that it's largely the same. I've seen people complaining, oh, Nintendo's making the same console again. And it's like, do you say that to PlayStation?
Yeah, it's like, no shit,
the
they're doing it
PS5
again.
didn't have a little screen on it, and it didn't come with a gamepad. Like, Nintendo's the only one that we expect each console to be wildly different. And the reality is that they have struck gold with the Switch format, and Switch Lite being sort of the DS, counter, component. It's just one of those things of like, I don't want them to drastically change it. I do not want a Wii U situation ever again. Like, this is the smart move, Nintendo. People love the Switch. They love the Switch Lite format. This is a winner. I am shocked at the people who are complaining that it's the same console. And it's like, the Xbox, same deal. It's more powerful, but like, geez, they didn't take the Xbox and be like, and now look, and you can, it's just more powerful and it's a different shape. The Switch is what we want. I just want it more powerful. So as long as this is legit, I'm thrilled with it. This is also interesting because some of the rumors surrounding this are essentially saying that these, third-party, accessory makers are fed up with the delays. They are livid that Nintendo has bumped the Switch 2 out this far when they have clearly spent money on developing these products. And realistically, they might have a warehouse full of these things already, and their fiscal year, the way that works, they're like, we wanted to sell these, now. And instead we're waiting to sell them because you've delayed your console. So the salt coming from this is very, delectable.
Very high. Yes. Lots of sodium. Gene, what do you think about this? Kind of just more of the same, which is not a bad thing. It's as Micah said, the winning formula. They struck gold. They don't need to divide resources up anymore between handheld and consoles at all. It just makes sense right there.
Yeah, I like the look of the handles. I think it'll actually be, like right now. Let me grab one of the Joy-Cons. You grabbing a Joy-Con, and it just feels kind of awkward. It just feels like you're kind of like pinching it, whatever. But if it's like a cock.
Nice
Holy
ergonomic
shit.
cock.
Yeah. If it's ergonomically right into your fists, you know, you can have a nice little fist kebab for your
Oh,
Joy-Con,
geez.
you know.
Remember when people didn't want us to swear on this podcast? Like,
Yeah,
most of their kids?
I couldn't. I had no other.
It wouldn't happen,
I had
guys.
no other way to say it. I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's got handles now, you know. So like when you actually break it out as a Joy-Con, and it'll be nice and ergonomic. Yeah, yes, Mike, ergonomic. Thank you.
Ergonomic dick. Yeah, perfect. Man, that's funny.
It curves right into your
Yeah.
hand. No.
Yeah. Let's see here. Mick Miners wrote in, "What's up, punchers? What are your guys' thoughts on the Switch 2 leak that happened over the weekend and the claim that it will feature an LCD screen and not an OLED? Does this impact your excitement for the console, knowing they will probably release another edition with the OLED in the future?"
I think we already knew that it was going to be.
Yeah, this is not a
LCD,
surprise at all to me, or I think most people.
Yeah, I was disappointed back then when we heard about it. So it's already the disappointment's already there.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to do an OLED right out the gate. No way. They're going to wait 3-4 years, then they'll get you again. That's just
for sure. And I'll buy it again.
I'll be there probably.
Thing, you know? Yeah.
I don't even play handheld, and I'll probably get it because I'm an idiot. That's what happened before.
I mean, that's the thing with me is that I still don't actually have an OLED TV. So, you know, my only exposure to OLED gaming right now is through the Switch or the Steam Deck OLED, which is nice.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I still don't have an OLED TV. So it's going to be a bummer to have a Switch 2 and lose that OLED. So, you know, maybe back by then that'll incentivize me to finally upgrade to an OLED TV.
Sure. Yeah. Pull the trigger on it. Yeah. But yeah, not surprising at all, Micah. I'm sure you're not surprised by this either.
No. This was a rumor we'd heard a while ago that it did not seem like they were going to launch with OLED. And yeah, I agree with you, Brad, that this will be something that's like a mid-cycle upgrade. This time, though, I will understand that it's going to be probably a long haul situation. Like the next Switch that comes out, I'm going to be prepared for it to be a 7-year life cycle, and I won't, drag my heels on getting the OLED if I really want it. Because, everyone knows I just waited so long to upgrade that it truly makes no sense now. My Switch is on its last legs. The fan is overheating every time I use it. I'm getting concerned that it's just not going to turn on one of these days. Meanwhile, my 3DS is still going strong. Like, explain that. Okay. But yeah, I very much regret not getting the OLED. I will not make that mistake again. But then we're going to fast forward several years, and I'm going to make the same mistake again.
Yeah. Well, here's what's going to happen, Micah. They're going to do the Switch 2. We're going to get the Switch 2 Lite. That's going to come out. They're going to do a yellow one, and you're going to be like, ooh. And you're like, well, I might as well get it because it's going to be a long cycle. A year later, they're going to be like, Switch 2 OLED now. And I'll be like, ooh, I don't need this, but I'm going to buy it. Then they're going to be like, the last 2 years, they're going to be like, hey, Switch 2 OLED Zelda Edition. And I'm going to be like, ooh, I have to buy that. Like a dumbass again. So that'll happen to me. Gene will get fucked over by something as well. I don't even know what it's going to be for Gene, though. They're going to be like, oh, here's some Okami version or something. I don't know. Something like that.
The Xenoblade Chronicles 4 version.
Yeah, Xenoblade 4 version. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some bullshit
probably
like that.
The Monster Hunter version.
Monster Hunter, yeah.
There's so many options, honestly. I really am, though. I have the tab still open. I've had this tab open all week of the Switch Lite at Target because I'm so scared my Switch is going to die. But I'm like, if it doesn't die, I'm just going to keep using it. But I don't know. I don't know what. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. Same with Alarmo. Same with all these things. I'm just not going to buy it.
I would say, Micah, try to make it through the year. Then you can make it through the year, I think you'll be okay.
I just want the announcement as soon as we know the date. Like if they announce it in, February or March, like as soon as they announce it and I know how long I have to wait for this thing, then I'll feel so much more comfortable. But good Lord, it's like I'm, it's like I'm running down to like the last, bottle of medicine in The Last of Us. And I'm like, how much longer till I get to the next town? And like, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm going to pop a champagne bottle when we get that Switch 2 announcement. It's like, finally.
Hell yeah, dog.
Content. Thank you. We need it. All right. Capcom committed to revitalizing dormant IPs. Music to my ears. We saw this in action with Onimusha and Okami coming back. But this is from a Capcom press release. In addition to regularly re-releasing major new titles each year, Capcom is focusing on reactivating dormant IPs that haven't had a new title launch recently. The company is working to further enhance corporate value by leveraging its rich library of content, which includes reviving past IPs like the 2 titles announced above, in order to continually produce highly effective, high-quality titles. Capcom remains firmly committed to satisfying the expectations of all users by leveraging its industry-leading game development capabilities in order to create highly entertaining gameplay experiences. Beautiful. People have been asking for Dino Crisis forever. And of course, our boy, the Blue Bomber Mega Man, who's right at home on Nintendo. We're getting Mega Man. It's coming. I know. It's coming back. When? I have no idea. But I'm very excited to play these games. And I just want to know, Gene, what IP do you want to come back that hasn't been announced yet?
Yeah, it'd have to be Mega Man. Especially that Shadow Labyrinth show.
Secret Level?
Secret Level, Pac-Man getting its own game. And it's like, okay, so now we're opening the floodgates for Secret Level projects that could potentially have video games attached to it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Darkstalkers is always going to be dead.
Oh, yeah.
No one's ever going to bring back Darkstalkers.
Damn, dude. Yeah. All right.
Except for Morgan Sprite. Morgan Sprite will live forever.
That's true.
Breath of Fire would be a cool RPG if Capcom wanted to go back into RPGs again, you know. Bionic Commando. I'd love to see that come back. You know, I think you know, that concept of a grappling commando could you know, grappling hooks are hot right now, right?
It's a timeless concept, in my opinion.
So yeah, I think and Beautiful Joe, of course.
Yeah, that could happen. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
I personally would want Breath of Fire to come back. It's been a long time, so that'd be sweet. Mm-hmm. Micah, is there any Capcom franchises that you can think of that you'd want to come back?
Yeah, the one for me was Breath of Fire because I did try to play it on my Game Boy Advance maybe 2 years ago, and it just was very difficult to go back that far. And I was like, I'm interested in what you're doing here, but I am just learning that retro games are not so much for me. You know, it's just one of those things of like, without having grown up with it, without having the nostalgia for it, it just feels too old. So I would like to see something like that come back with, you know, just some modern touches. I'd love for it to still be like old school in terms of like graphic style, but I would like for it, much like they did with, you know, Dragon Quest 3 and adding like some niceties like the objective markers and stuff like that, so you can choose to play that way. I'd love to see them do something similar.
Yeah. You know, Micah, your thing about retro games just being too old for you, I totally get that. Games like on the Atari before NES, too old for me. I don't have really any interest in those kind of games. So I understand where you're coming from, but you're still wrong about a lot of them. I won't stand for it.
There really is just a matter of, some of it is just being able to understand what you're seeing on screen. Trying to play Link to the Past, for example, and I was genuinely struggling at times to be like, is this a wall or am I trying to like walk up a hill? And it's like I'm just bumping into a wall because it's just the style of it. For my modern eyes, I was having trouble figuring out even what I was looking at on screen. That was part of the difficulty with some of the dungeons, was just like I'm genuinely struggling to figure out what some of these sprites are supposed to be. And like that wasn't supposed to be a challenge. The game isn't supposed to be hard to parse, but it just was because I hadn't seen it before. And it was just really strange to go back that far. So yeah, there are some games where I just have to admit that I'm just a modern gal, and I can't understand it.
Zoomer eyes.
I wish I had fresh zoomer eyes. I have horrible vision.
Oh, do you? Damn. Do you wear glasses?
Yeah. I wear glasses. I wear contacts. I can't survive without them.
Damn, should have got You should got LASIK. That's what I did.
I want it. I don't qualify yet.
What?
You have to have a steady prescription for 3 years. I've never done that in my life. So
okay.
I've never qualified for LASIK. And my eyes just get worse every year.
Okay, well, get that prescription going then. 3 years.
It's going. It's
Okay.
going.
It's the best. Do it if you get the chance to.
I'd like to.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about what we're playing. Micah, you and me talked about this quite a bit on Summon Sign already. You're deep in Ocarina of Time. Any updates, though?
Well, yeah. So for our Punching Up audience, I'll just give a briefer overview.
Yeah.
If you want a lot of details and to also hear what, Colin and Brad think about the game too, definitely check out Summon Sign this week. But yeah, for our Punching Up listeners, I am around 16 hours into the game, probably 16 and a half by now. The dungeons that I had completed so far, I'd done the Forest Temple, the Water Temple, and the Fire Temple. I'm getting all set up to do the Shadow Temple next. I went down a well, got a special item. Now I can go do that. I am using a guide for some of like the heart pieces and things that are truly obscure to find. Like there's one that you get for playing songs to a frog in a river.
Yeah.
And it's just things I wouldn't have ever figured out, right? You have to jump up on this log, take out the ocarina, then the frog's like, oh, hey, what the hell's going on? And then you play them a series of songs twice and they'll give you an item. But it's things like that where the overworld itself is very much a puzzle to be solved. Colin loves that type of stuff. I don't. So while I enjoy figuring out the dungeons and all the unique puzzles in there, the overworld is not where I want to be perplexed. But I'm having fun with it. The guide that I'm using is just really straightforward, tells you, bing, bang, boom, in terms of getting like extra heart pieces, things like that. And it's been a blast. The dungeons, for example, I think they're pretty intuitive. I was able to complete the Water Temple only looking up, there's one specific place I got stuck because I was trying to open a door that I did not have the correct hook shot for. I thought I was just being too slow and it was a matter of timing. In reality, I needed the extendo hook shot. So then I was like, oh, all right, I'm not supposed to do this yet. And then just doing one of the mini boss fights, it wasn't clear to me if I was actually doing any damage or not. And I just kept thinking, I don't think I'm doing this right. I was. But those are the things I needed to consult the guide for. Otherwise, I was able to figure out the puzzles by myself, which felt really satisfying because the Water Temple, famously, everyone's told me how difficult it is. And while it did take me a while and I did a lot of backtracking, it was a good feeling to have completed that without needing to use the guide. It also felt like it'd be way more difficult with a guide that temple is so samey that it felt like you would need to use the guide from step one versus being able to really find your way mid-guide and figure out what you've done already. Like that temple is just very similar looking in all the different rooms. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the experience. Soundtrack is good from what I've heard. This is a game that relies a bit more on the sound effects to tell you things. So I don't mind having it be the primary thing I'm listening to just because it's engaging and you're constantly wanting to hear the doo-doo-doo-doo, when you do something and you know that it worked. But yeah, the only, knocks I have for this game are the controls are awful. And, it's a 3DS port. It is what it is, but the camera controls are trash.
Yeah.
The targeting does not work sometimes. There was an enemy literally right in front of me. I'm, tapping the button to try and get it to target, and Link just keeps like turning around. And I'm like, no, like, look. And he finally turns and looks at it, but so the targeting is miserable. The camera, not good. There's also some annoyance with them putting too many commands on one button. Like, the A button is to roll, it's to climb, it's to grab. You have to essentially walk up to something and wait for the prompt on screen to change and then press the button when the prompt is correct. It's just like, dude, we have so many buttons. We could have done combinations. Like to grab something could have been A plus R, and that's how you grab a block and push it. So that's, my main frustrations are coming from the controls and the camera. And I'm not, it's not a deal breaker, clearly. It's still very fun, but you do need to get your sea legs in this game and also just accept these limitations because some of that stuff is really frustrating at first. And then you just get used to it. You get the hang of it and you you get more, acclimated to how the camera works. But I'm glad I did play it on 3DS because I like the look of this version.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little crispy,
Yeah.
like seeing comparisons. I'm just like, all right, yeah, I really like the look of this one. Some of those enhancements, like you mentioned on Summon Sign, the water temple having some niceties added to it. So it's not quite so obtuse. But yeah, it's been wicked fun so far.
Hell yeah. That pleases me greatly. Can't wait to hear your final thoughts whenever you finish it as well. Gene, what about you, man? What have you been playing?
Yeah, so I've actually been playing, finally, the indie horror game Signalis.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Have you played it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been playing the Switch version. I have it on physical on cart.
Nice.
And I figured, after mouthwashing, I should catch up on some after mouthwashing and Persona 5 in particular, two very, very hard-hitting games that are for different reasons, but are very, very story heavy and very satisfying in terms of the story. I figured, I don't know, I can't really just play any other game. I'm trying to play Marvel Rivals, and I'm just like, and everyone, you all know my feelings about Indiana Jones. Again, a great game, but I'm just like not moved by
not your vibe.
Indiana Jones story. I'm just not like, I don't want to play a fucking Lucasfilm story after Persona 5 and not watch it. I don't care. I would feel the same for a new Star Wars game for sure. I'd just be like, ugh, fucking Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I figured I should hit up Signalis. I've never actually played it. I heard that it was depressing, and I just wasn't really in the mood for a depressing game, which is why I didn't play it. But I'm playing it now. Wow, I'm not done with it, but wow, what a fantastic game. The controls for it are so good. It's so natural when it comes to like being a survival horror game. Just the perspective of it just makes it feel so good just to move around. This is a classic survival horror game without tank controls. And I'm just like, why can't people just make games like this more?
Yeah.
Why can't you just make a Resident Evil game that's just this, a low poly, top down, well controlled survival horror game that doesn't need tech controls, so you can but you're walking around and getting keys and getting stuff and preserving your ammo. Like I'm actually running away from enemies in this game, like you would in a survival horror game. That's exactly what I used to do, and now I'm actually trying to preserve ammo here. And then, I think I'm getting pretty far. I think I'm in like the third act right now. So we'll see. I believe there's multiple endings. So we'll see whether I'm on track to get the best ending or not. But really fascinating stuff. I love the graphic presentation. I'm just in love with it. Later in the game, you get a flashlight module. So you can walk around with a flashlight, and it just like makes all the lighting effects, like the old school PS1 lighting effects, like really feel dynamic, and it just looks really cool. I'm just like, I'd be totally okay with if game just kept looking like this for like if a lot of games look like this. It's just like a Naughty Dog game and a Rockstar game just looks realistic, and that's it. Every other game can look like a PS1 game, and I'd totally be fine with it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I liked it. I remember I didn't love it as much as everyone else did, I remember at the time, but I did enjoy it. I think it's a good game, so I'm really happy to hear you're having a great time with it.
Yeah, right now I'm not sure what to feel about the story, because the story is just kind of happening right now, and I'm still trying to figure that out. But I think like mechanically the game is really, really, really good.
Cool.
That's what I'm really enjoying about it the most.
Nice. Hell yeah. I talked about this on Summon Sign briefly, but Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, I haven't gotten to play more since I last talked to Micah about it yesterday for us, but I will be playing more tonight, so I'm looking forward to that. Finding out whatever random ass goofy Pokemon I'm going to find out there. I'm going to make fun of them, probably give them a nickname that I'll end up loving them, because that's what always happens. So I shall see how my journey goes, but yep, the Pokemon journey continues. Micah, you have a confession, don't you? Do you have something to confess?
I
saw something about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh yeah, that's where I'm going with this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yo,
I was going to ask, would you be upset if I decided I was gonna play the Yu-Gi-Oh games, I see this retro Yu-Gi-Oh collections coming. What if I got into that instead of the vintage Pokemon games?
Oh, that's
How does
fun.
it make you feel? Is
That's
it?
fun. Yeah.
Is it fine if
Yeah.
I want to be a Yu-Gi-Oh kid instead of a Pokemon
Yu-Gi-Oh's
kid?
cool.
Yu-Gi-Oh
I think
fucking
Yu-Gi-Oh's cool.
sucks, but like, you know, the games might be cool. I don't know.
You don't like the show? The first season? Sick.
Here's the
Pegasus.
thing. I remember when Yu-Gi-Oh came out, you know, and even as a kid, I was like, this looks really weird.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
all look weird.
That was a thing of like, this isn't like Dragon Ball Z hair. This is so much further.
Yugi's got a lot of, he's very extra, I would say. His
there's
haircut.
just a line, you know, and it wasn't even that feeling, because we all know that distinct feeling when you're a kid and you're like, I'm too old for this. It wasn't even that. It was just like, that looks weird. Yeah. But I hear the games are pretty cool, so maybe I'll be a Yu-Gi-Oh kid, or maybe I'll start playing Yokai Watch. Those games are like way too
I don't know anything about Yokai Watch, really.
It's honestly adorable, but like the first Yokai Watch in 3DS was pretty cool, but they are geared towards a much younger audience. You can just tell, like, very tutorial heavy. I think I rented it on GameFly because that was kind of like it's kind of similar to Pokemon and it's the first game in the series. I'll try it. But it is just very, younger gamer centric. And yeah, so I wasn't really digging that, but maybe I'll be a Yu-Gi-Oh kid now.
Well, do you like card games?
No.
Yu-Gi-Oh's a card game.
I mean, I do and I don't, right? Like, have I actually played one? No. In theory, I like it. Yeah, I mean, in theory, sure, it can be fine.
Okay.
We don't know until we try, Brad. We don't know.
Wow, look at you. You've grown. We don't know until we try. That is the exact opposite of what I used to know of Micah. If I haven't done it already, I don't like it. That's the old Micah.
I mean, if I'm doing it out of spite, like maybe I'll be a Digimon kid. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if you want to be pathetic, sure. Go ahead. No, I'm just kidding. I know people like Digimon. I don't know anything about Digimon anymore.
Weirdos like Digimon.
That's true. Yeah. Sorry, listeners. I know a lot of you probably like Digimon, but you're weird, all right? But yeah, Micah, if you want to get in Yu-Gi-Oh, go for it. Cool monsters in there. Dual Monsters, awesome card game. So let us know, because you could be the Yu-Gi-Oh connoisseur of our group and let us know. Me and Gene will handle Pokemon.
I could be, yeah. We'll see if I want to go down that dark path.
Yeah. And if we want to get real nuts, we can go down the Monster Rancher path and all that kind of stuff too. If we want to get real crazy, start putting CDs in there again, see what monster we get. That game was sick, man. Shout out Monster Rancher. Okay, guess that's it for what we're playing. So the Tales 30th anniversary stream did happen, I believe, yesterday, and we got some more news of there's going to be more remasters, essentially, of Tales of games. So this is from the live stream. I'm getting this from Gamatsu right here. Speaking during today's Tales of Series 30th Anniversary Project special broadcast, Tomizawa said that while he could not reveal specific release plans, since Tales of Grace's F Remastered is still to be released, Bandai Namco intends to provide remasters of Tales of titles fairly consistently and intends to continue doing so as much as possible. He also said that a dedicated development line for the remastered project has been established and the team is seriously working on it. So Tales of Grace's F comes out, next month? Yeah, January 17th. Are you getting this, Mike? Did we talk about this? You played it originally, right?
I did. I played it on PS3. I'm not interested in revisiting this Tales title, but it's cool that they're doing it.
Yeah, no thank you. But the idea of them doing more Tales of games remasters, sure, makes total sense to me. You liked Berseria, right?
Yes, I love that one.
I only played a little bit of it, but if they remaster it, hey, maybe I'll check it out again. I personally want to play a lot of the other ones that were before Symphonia, because that's when I got into the series, so I missed out like on a lot of those old ones that Colin likes and stuff. So I'd love for them to do those ones, as well as Tales of the Abyss. They did a 3DS port of it, which I do have, but if they do a console port, hell yeah. Gene, any Tales games you would like to see remastered?
No Tales experience here, so.
Oh, really? Okay, none.
Yep.
Wow. Tales of Vesperia is already out. That's my favorite one, so I don't need that. Mike,
I tried Vesperia, but I tried it for like an hour. So
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
Micah, any Tales games you want remastered that you can think of?
I mean, not off the top of my head, because I got into Tales with Tales of Heartsar. So, and then played, Grace's F as well, Arise and Berseria. So, really, any of the older ones that they want to bring forward, I'm game to try. So, just bring them all. Just load them all up and do it. I'll play them.
Hell yeah. Okay. So yeah, more Tales that come in the future. That's a good thing. I'm really curious to see what the next mainline game will be.
That's what I really want to know, because it's like, okay, it's cool that you're going to do more remasters, but Arise is old now. Please,
Yeah.
give me a new one.
Yeah, it is pretty old. What did it come out? 2021 or 2? Something like that?
I don't remember.
It's been a while. It
just feels like it's been too long.
It has been. It's been a while. And they had the DLC that came out much later, I remember.
Yeah. And I was not even interested. No, It's way too... The thing is, sometimes you do get a hankering, like, oh man, I'm stoked to get back into this world, like Witcher, those DLCs. But with Tales of Arise, it was a really long game. I enjoyed it, but classic example of a game that ends 4 times, right? And I was just done with it. It was the same as Xenoblade Chronicles 1 having, the DLC, and I'm just like, bro, the last thing I need is more of this. Like, I liked it. I really liked it. But after all the time I spent with that game, the last thing I need is more. So same with Tales of Arise, same vibe. I was like, I don't need any more of this. Thank you.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, let's see here. Sonic Superstars lackluster sales. Let me write this. In a recent interview with Eurogamer, Sega president Shuji Utsumi said that Sonic Superstars turned out to be a disappointment for the company. Eurogamer interviewed them, and this is what he had to say. Oh, this is Eurogamer saying this first. When Nintendo puts out a mainline Mario game, it's a big event. One only comes out every 5 years or so. There's always a new theme, but it's still fundamentally Mario. At one point, there were so many Sonic games coming out, it felt like there was no quality control. It just felt like a fiscal obligation. What are you going to do to increase the quality level of Sonic games? And Utsumi said this. That's a very good question. We're trying to do something creative with Sonic Frontiers. With Sonic Superstars, it turned out to be a disappointment, but in terms of the outcome compared to what we delivered, this time we have Sonic X Shadow Generations and the next Sonic movies, so we're pushing things in the transmedia direction, movies and games working in harmony to make things better or bigger. But the core of the experience is the game. The game needs to be very good or else there is no transmedia effect. The Sonic X Shadows Generation game is actually very good. I would say awesome, action-wise. But starting next year, it's going to be the next level, as you will soon see at the Game Awards. And that was the new Sonic racing thing we saw. So Sega acknowledges that Sonic was a bum in the past. They pumped it out too much. They milked that Blue Hedgehog dry. But now, hopefully, they're going to be slowing things down a bit and focusing on quality a lot more. Now, Gene, as a big Sonic fan, how does this make you feel, his statement here?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think there is a debate right now in the community about whether classic Sonic, Sega should continue to focus on classic Sonic or just really invest in the Sonic Frontiers method. For me personally, as a Sonic fan, classic Sonic is supposed to cater to guys my age, 40 years old and up. But to be quite honest, I prefer Sonic Frontiers. I would rather have the new direction. It's more exciting. It's more interesting. Been playing classic Sonic for 40 years, so yeah, I'm ready for new stuff. Classic Sonic isn't that popular in Japan, and I think it's probably because we've been playing classic Sonic for a long, long time. We haven't really had good modern Sonic besides Sonic Frontiers. So yeah, keep trying that. And yeah, Shadow Generations has a modern Sonic spin to it, with the hub world becoming more like Sonic Adventures. And it's like, yeah, just more of that, please.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Micah, how do you feel about this? First of all, do you even like Sonic, or have you played a lot of the Sonic games?
No, I really haven't played many of them. I enjoyed the GameCube like adventure game. That was fun, but modern Sonic does not really have my attention. I appreciate the acknowledgement though of their, where they fall short. Game Grumps recently, this is relevant, I promise. They recently released a supercut of their Sonic Boom gameplay from several years ago. And seeing how fundamentally broken that product was, it was honestly sad that they charged money for that. It's like, dude, this game is broken. They realized at one point that during like the running animation, like your whole, gang of characters is running together and they will just periodically disappear.
Yeah.
And it's happening quickly enough that you're just thinking like it looks stuttery. But when they slowed it down, it's like they're just flat out disappearing from screen and coming back. There were issues where like they'd step on an area and it actually was just like a false bottom basically. And they would just fall through the environment and you're supposed to be able to walk here. There were so many things wrong with that game. It's crazy that it was ever greenlit that like this is fine to release. So the acknowledgement from them that the higher quality games is important. It was like what we heard from the Pokemon team previously of like, we admit that this needs to be more than just games we release, every year. This needs to be quality games that we release.
Yeah. Pokemon Za coming out. So hopefully it'll be good.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll fucking see.
We'll see. So, yeah, this is good news to me. We need quality over quantity with Sonic. Please. There's enough of that hedgehog out there. Just make sure when he's out there, it's good. And I'm with Gene. I think the Frontiers direction is more exciting. I like to see new things with Sonic. So I'm looking forward to see whatever they do after that. The next big 3D Sonic game. We'll keep an eye on you, you little hedgehog. Okay, just a quick thing really I just saw yesterday, and I didn't even know about this, is that Chained Echoes is getting DLC. So if you guys don't know, this was a Japanese role-playing inspired game that came out in 2022, a very good RPG that I really enjoyed. It was one of my favorite games that year. It came out at the end of the year, though, in December, and not a lot of people played it. But a really great game. It's getting DLC now, coming out like in Q2 2025. So that's quite a bit after the game came out. But it was on Switch as well. Here's some new, just the features list I'm looking at on Steam right now. A new playable character, visit new areas, over 40 new enemies and bosses, over 15 new music tracks, fresh equipment and items, and new mini games. Now, I really like this game a lot, but there is no way I'm coming back to this game like 3 years later. It's just not happening. If I ever replayed the game for some reason, maybe I would do it. But DLC in an RPG, because this is going to take place near the end of the game, I believe, also. So it's going to be a ways in. But for most games, I'm not going to do that. If From Software did that, I'd be like, okay, sure, no problem. But for most people, probably not. I don't think so. But I hope people enjoy it. It looks cool. There's like the new character you get is like some wolf guy. It's going to shred some people. So that's pretty neat. Gene, did you ever play this?
Nope. Never did.
Nope. Big old skip. Fair enough. Micah, have you seen this? I know you like JRPGs as well.
Yeah, this is not one that I ever got around to, and I kind of forgot about it until this DLC announcement. I think this is one I might check out. Do you think I'd like this one, Brad?
I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell with you. I don't really know.
I know.
Sometimes it's hard to tell. But I don't know. It's worth a shot. Maybe there's a demo. I'm not sure. It was on Game Pass, I know, but I don't think anymore. But it was a great game.
I like that on the Nintendo, official listing, they put like features and it says 30 to 40 hours of playtime. And it's like a JRPG capped out at around 40 hours. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's about what it is. I think Colin played some of it. So you could ask him. He would know better than me. So
yeah,
I don't think he finished it though.
That's the thing. I'm looking at the screenshots and I'm thinking it's mildly familiar. And maybe I did see him play a bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll have to put this on the list and see.
Okay. Add it to the list, our humongous list of games we need to play.
I know, right? It's like, I made a joke with Kong, so it's like in Dragon Quest when it's always like there's always room in your bag, and it's like there's always room in the backlog. Everybody just always. Get in.
Stack them up, line them up. Okay. Let's end the show with some questions from the audience. I post a thread every other Sunday calling for your submissions. So if you guys would like to write in, head over to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Look for that thread I post, and you can submit your questions there. We do that for all of our shows, by the way, too. So if you want to write in for anything else, keep an eye out there. Okay, this is from Matthew Bunton. What's up, Pup Chups? Pup Chups? What the hell? I mean, I've never heard that. I'm going to be traveling for Christmas, and I have been trying to work my way through some classic JRPGs. I've gotten through Golden Sun and Chrono Trigger. What other JRPGs would you recommend for the SNES and the GBA? I am emulating on Delta. Okay, Gene, let's start with you. They've beaten Chrono Trigger, so we'll get that one obviously out of the way. And they've beaten Golden Sun. So SNES and GBA JRPG style games.
Suikoden too, or SNES, I guess, but you know.
Yeah, that's PS1.
Yeah.
You want to hit him with the Final Fantasy VI?
Final Fantasy VI, yeah. If you play Chrono Trigger, then you got to play the other one, Final Fantasy VI. That's the one.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VI. You could try Secret of Mana, which is different, but it's an RPG. I have problems with that game, but I know a lot of people really like it. Beautiful game, awesome music, and so maybe consider that one. Micah, is anything coming to your mind?
Oh, no. Unfortunately, this is the wrong era for me to recommend like JRPGs. So, no, I'm sorry. I don't have anything for you.
Sure. Oh, you know what? Trials of Mana, actually. I think it's better than Secret of Mana. We got it a couple years ago. It was Japan only for a long time, but it's a very good RPG. So check that one out as well. I know people say Terranigma. I've never played that, so I have no idea about a lot of that stuff. But Final Fantasy VI is probably the best one I would go with. So consider that. Final Fantasy VI, an all-time classic. All right. This is from Gregory. Hey, Punchers. I was wondering if you guys are planning on gaming resolutions for the new year, e.g. completing a certain number of games per month, trying new genres you typically don't play, or maybe switching up the platforms you normally play on. Gene, any resolutions you want to do for gaming next year?
Good question.
Or goals?
I don't know. Play more Persona games.
There you go.
Play Romancing Saga. I don't know. Just clear my backlog. Really, nothing that exciting.
Yeah, feels like that for a lot of us. Just clear the backlog, kind of
clear
thing.
The backlog. I don't know. Probably still have Xbox games. I feel like I feel like divesting from Xbox. If Xbox is leaving the console market,
Yeah, I get you.
And they don't want to. They want to de-emphasize physical games, and fuck off. Then I will too.
Yeah, sure.
So
yeah, Gene, I've noticed. Like, I went to Target a little while ago. I've talked about this though, but there's just no more Xbox games there. They don't sell them.
Yeah,
they only sell controllers and consoles. Like, Switch obviously has the biggest amount of physical, but then there's PlayStation, who has about half, and
PlayStation is fine too.
And Xbox got nothing right now, which is just crazy. I don't know. All those years of seeing games and just seeing them go.
Yeah, Avowed is not going to have a disc. Indiana Jones is not even on disc. So, like, if I was a huge Indiana Jones fan, I'll just buy it on PS5 then. I'll just buy the PS5 disc then.
Yeah. I totally get it.
It's whack,
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I feel for all you Xbox collectors out there. I know you got it rough in the physical space right now. Keep your head up, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, the old school Xbox fans, Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough shit. It's Jover, though, for those physical games, man. I'm sorry, guys. It's over. Yeah. It's over, man. Oh, God. Mike, any games, I guess, for the backlog specifically that you can think of?
Yeah, Lost Judgment.
Oh, yeah.
Sequel to Judgment. I loved Judgment. That's one I definitely want to get to. I'm looking at my pile of games. Okay, I have Fire Emblem Fates Birthright over here. I got Balatro over here. I just picked up Skyward Sword HD for $34.99. And so that's one that I'm definitely going to get to next year. And just more of the Zelda titles, trying out some of the ones that are on Nintendo Switch Online. that'll be the goal in between the big games like Xenoblade Chronicles X coming to Switch. I mean, it's not like there's a rush on getting to that, but I don't want to let too many of these titles get away from me. I have, like, this year was a backlog heavy year for me. And so, I did play new releases, the ones I was interested in, but I focused a lot this year on playing older titles, especially once I started this Zelda kick. So next year, I want to try and balance it a little better, the new titles with the backlog, but definitely going to continue this Zelda exploration.
You're doing the right thing, Micah. Everything else can wait. Zelda is now. So I support 100%. For me, for the second year in a row, I guess, maybe third year, would be to try to finish Dragon Quest VII, for God's sakes. I've been playing this game on 3DS for like years. It is a humongous game. Huge. I just need to finish it. I like it a lot. I really like it. But there's always just something coming around that's taking me away from it. And I have to play it on handheld, which I don't love. I'm the opposite of Micah. So I got to deal with that. But I just got to do it, man. I got to show that respect to Dragon Quest because I love it. And Lost Odyssey I need to play still. That's one as well. But I have to play Maddie. I have to play Tales of the Sky, the remake that's coming out for Maddie, because we had an agreement. Because he was playing 14, so I said I would play something else. So that is also on the docket. All right. This is from Kasdan Risk. Hey, Brick Dumpers. What do you think of the Astrobot team thanking Nintendo, without mentioning Nintendo, in their Game Awards acceptance speech? I loved it, and I'm also so happy Astrobot won GOTY. Cheers and take care. What did you think of this, Micah?
Oh, it was very sweet. I mean, it was legitimately funny the way that they were dancing around it. Like, we're not going to say it, but everybody knows. Like, that was legitimately funny. But I thought it was very sweet that they acknowledged their inspiration from some classic titles that they clearly loved. Like, it's like we mentioned earlier, it's nice to see game devs who are really still in love with creating games and really still so excited about the possibilities of what they can create. Seeing them be so enthusiastic talking about some of their inspiration, it was just a genuinely heartfelt moment. It was nice to see.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Gene?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, happy to see Astrobot win. I wanted Metaphor to win, but and I wrote a story that Astrobot's win sends a message to the industry that just focus on play and you just have a smaller team.
Yeah,
just make a good game.
Yeah,
you don't need a platoon of people to make a video game.
Yeah, you're right. It definitely felt like a celebration. So I really appreciated that speech. Yeah. Okay, this is from Takoyaki. Hey, Punchers. Looking back at the entire Switch lifecycle, what was the most memorable first-party Switch game you've played and wish to be ported to the Switch 2? Do you think Nintendo will do what Sony does with their first-party games, as in create a PS5 version of their PS4 release with unlocked frame rates and upgraded fidelity? Assuming, hypothetically, Nintendo would. What kind of upgrades and improvements would you want said game to have? I personally want Tears of the Kingdom to have a Switch 2 upgrade so we can have more things to attach when in creating things with Zonai devices. Love to know your thoughts. That's interesting. Like actual gameplay tweaks to the game. I don't think that'll happen for Zelda, but that's not a bad idea. I don't know about you two, but Breath of the Wild was the most memorable Switch game for me. It was the first one I played.
Totally. Yeah.
So that really helped, but it was such a big leap for Zelda in terms of its direction. Like I remember playing at E3 and they had a really sick booth for it. It was so cool. They had like Bokoblin statues like sprinkled throughout. I loved it. And it was a really special playthrough. Even though I have many gripes with that game, I can't deny that I was fully enamored my entire playthrough. And obviously I want Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom to get enhanced ports that run good or higher resolution. I want all that kind of stuff. Gene, what about you, man?
Yeah, it had to be Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild truly felt like a I know Colin hates this phrase, but it really did feel like a lived experience.
Mm-hmm.
I really did feel like it was an experience that I went through. Journeying through Hyrule for the first time ever.
Yeah,
it's one of the most memorable game experiences of all time for me. You know.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. That's what
Micah.
the Switch did for us.
Yeah, Switch magical time when it launched.
Mhm.
Micah, what about you?
Mine is Yoshi's Crafted World.
Oh yeah,
because I just loved it so much. The look of it and everything, the art style, it's just adorable, so fun. I would love crafts, in real life, and that game just really spoke to me and was just enjoyable. It was a really fun game to play. Part of that is too because if I'm thinking of what's a game I'd want to see ported forward, as our listener mentioned, it's like, well, it'd be a game I'd actually want to go back and play. Of course, there are other titles maybe that are bigger, but in terms of what I actually would say, yeah, I'd play that one again. Yoshi's Crafted World. I am dying for another entry to that series.
I should finish that game. I do have
It's so good.
Yeah. I need to finish Kirby as well, Forgotten Land. It was great. I just kind of fell off at the end, but it was really good.
Yeah.
No, that really game is great because I really liked Kirby Star Allies as well. That game was really easy though most of the way through, and then the final boss is suddenly difficult. I was playing that with a friend and I was like, I can't believe the uptick in difficulty after we breezed through this whole game, and the final boss was actually giving us a run for our money. They did something strange with that one. But yeah, Forgotten Land, really fun. Those time trials though, I was pulling my hair out with some of those.
Okay, final question from Tanner Denso here, or writing. Merry Christmas, Punchers. I've had Switch 2 on my mind a lot lately. Am I crazy to think that Nintendo could release a first-party licensed Pro Controller with back buttons / paddles? Or even crazier, release the stock Switch 2 with Joy-Cons that have back buttons / paddles on them? I play a lot of games on everything and consider myself somewhere between casual and hardcore, but I have really grown accustomed to having, at minimum, 2 extra buttons on the back of my controller to assign to one of the face buttons or right or left stick clicks. Now, I know Nintendo is usually the last to bring features to their console that the other two have implemented for years, and technically Xbox and PlayStation have already have back button support on first-party controllers, but they aren't what comes with the console. We've all had all kinds of leaks patents for the new Joy-Cons, and they have new features. I don't think that it's too crazy to add back buttons to each Joy-Con, or at the very least, offer a Pro Controller with them. What are your thoughts? I'm trying to remember those pictures of the Joy-Cons, but I think there's an extra, or the triggers may be a little different on the back. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Nothing's confirmed yet, so it's hard to say. Coming with that, a controller coming with that? No way. They're going to make you buy a Pro Controller. 100%. There's going to do that.
Yeah.
There's going to be the Pro Controller, and then there's going to be, if they do this, the Super Pro Controller, just like there's the Edge.
Yeah.
So there's no way. But I don't know. I think this generation, it is possible for them to do an official controller with the back buttons, a more expensive controller, maybe. Hopefully not $200 like the Edge, but it's Nintendo here. All they got to do is slap Mario or Zelda on it, and people will buy it like me. So anything is possible. But what do you guys think, Micah?
Yes, but do I think it would come with the console? No, because as the listener mentioned, the Elite controllers are not coming standard with the consoles either, right? So do I think Nintendo could potentially do this with an upgraded Pro Controller? Sure. My whole thing is that, the Elite controllers are generally most popular with people playing shooters,
Right.
People playing online multiplayer competitive gaming, because you want to just be the most precise, the most, you just want to have the absolute best performance in those games. I love, Call of Duty and all that, but I've never bought the Elite controller because I'm I don't know, man, the standard controls are fine for the level I'm playing at, right? Yeah. It'd be weird for me to picture Nintendo when you look at their list of first party. It's I don't know, do I need back paddles for Splatoon? No. Do I need back paddles for Kirby? No. So I don't think it ever comes standard, but maybe they would release an upgraded controller with it.
Yeah. What do you think, Gene?
Yeah, it's not happening. I can't see that Nintendo is going to be, that's just changing the format up, to require people to use more buttons. The industry needs to kind of. I wonder when we're going to start doing that though. When we're going to start having more buttons on controllers, though, because
Hmm.
you know, do we need any more? I don't know.
Right. You had mentioned in a previous episode, like the what is it called? The trackpad on the PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
The sensor pad.
Yeah, nobody
And
uses that, but I love it.
well, that's the thing is, I actually do like that button because it's nice
Mhm.
and squishy to press, but it's not heavily utilized in a lot of games. So they come up with some pretty cool tech, but and same thing with when the controller, the sound effects come through it, which I don't like. I hate
Right.
that.
Mhm.
But
I
even
love that.
so, you don't see that utilized in every game. So some of this is, are they going to develop it for people to not use it? It's like the 3DS situation of some of the 3D looked like ass, and some
Yeah.
games just didn't have it at all. Some games there is no 3D, and then other games it's like, this is trash mode. You don't even want this, and it was a selling point for the console for a lot of people.
Yeah, but I wonder when we're going to get to that next stage of controller innovation.
Mhm.
It feels like nobody in the industry is willing to just take the leap to add that third analog stick or something that
Oh my
but
god, dude.
it feels like
No.
the second analog stick was the only that was the last innovation, and then
Dude.
touchpad, trackpads, all this stuff don't stick.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I could see back buttons like how they have on the Xbox, whatever the fancy one is, the Elite controller
Mm,
and the DualSense Edge, because they actually are very intuitive and work well, in my opinion.
yeah.
But at the same time, they might just keep that as a premium product or a hardcore product just to make extra money off people. But yeah, Gene, I wonder if we're ever going to get to that point where we add more buttons, because it's been a long time since
It's been a
they've added
while.
more
It's
buttons.
been over 20 years. It's
Yeah.
been about 20 years since we added the second analog stick to the dual stick, and then
Yeah.
basically Xbox standardized it. The Xbox controller, and then GameCube and the Wii. I mean, the Wii was innovation, right? The
Mhm.
Wii
Yeah.
remote. That was
Yeah.
it.
Whether it's stuck or not, like PlayStation, I think is like the major innovator right now in terms of like the haptics, the triggers, and how everything feels when you're using that controller.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like they're making the most strides with that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good
And I
point.
wouldn't mind if PlayStation becomes leader. And again, I like the trackpad. I'd be happy to see if Nintendo just
Adopt it.
just decides to use that, adopts it too.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck it. If PlayStation's going to start sending all their games over to us anyways, we might as well have a trackpad too.
Yeah.
So
Nintendo just needs to do the VMU. Bring it back. Take
mhm.
it from Sega. There you go. Your little screen thing got Mario giving you a thumbs up or some shit like that. Something. I know Michael will love it.
They're like, we're bringing back the Wii U gamepad.
Yeah, the Wii U gamepad. Same resolution, same screen, everything. No.
We found a bunch of them in a warehouse.
Yeah. They'll die in a year. You'll need to have them plugged in forever. Just like
and
mine.
you can't play while you're charging it.
I know. Oh my god, dude. I hate the Wii U. Can't believe people defend that piece of trash. That console. Not the games, the console. It sucks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, guys, before I start rambling, we're going to end this episode. Good Lord. Micah, thank you for joining me. As always, Gene as well. I appreciate it. I'm sure the listeners do as well. Before we go, though.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. You'll have a good time. Get some rest. Fear not. There will be an episode still while we're on break for you guys. It'll be our looking back at the year for Nintendo. So that's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And I can't wait to do the 2025 episode, getting amped up for the new year. That's going to be fun. So I'm stoked for that. All right. Before we go, though, any final words you guys want to say, or should we just get out of here?
No, yeah,
No?
let's hit it. Happy holidays, everyone. I hope you enjoy the holiday episode. It's a weird little time capsule because we recorded it before this one.
Yeah,
So.
that's true.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. We will see you guys in the next episode. Take care, everybody. And goodbye.
Bye.
Punching Up, a Nintendo podcast, is a product of Last Stand Media and Collins Last Stand LLC and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show is written and hosted by me, Bradley Ellis. My co-hosts are Gene Park and Micah Moriarty. The show is edited and produced by Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. Punching Up, along with the rest of Last Stand's media shows, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest tier, and we're grateful for your kind contributions and generosity to our independent endeavor. Thank you.